All right, back for another Guru's Rants. So I'll make this one a quick one. So there's a lot of popularity now in learning C-Lot online, learning C-Lot through YouTube videos, learning C-Lot from all the Southeast Asian folks that are now online. And that's cool. There's some good things about that. There's a plus, a pro, and a con to that, right? There's only so much you can get from a video. You can definitely, if you know how to see and you understand body mechanics, you can get a lot out of a video. But if you're a beginner and you have no idea what those things are or what to even look for, then you're not going to get a lot from it. You might get a couple techniques, you might get some idea of how to do something, and the teacher might explain it to you. It might be good, how they explain it. But unless you feel the art, you're never going to learn the art, right? It's kind of like, I'll use this music reference, right? You might have seen, let's say, a guitar hero like Eddie Van Halen on a video, but if you've never saw Eddie Van Halen live in person, you're not going to know what that really felt like, right? It's kind of similar in that way. In the martial arts, especially in art like Sirach or any of the C-Lots that are truly internal arts, right? I'm not talking about the external ones. I'm talking the ones that are actually internal. If you don't feel it, if you don't understand it, you're never gonna get it, right? And I don't care how many fancy hats or sarongs or silk clothing you see the Guru or Maharaj Mahapandikar wearing. You're not going to learn it online that way. You're not going to learn it from a video that way. I'm not against online learning. I think it's possible, but I think at some point you do need to see a real teacher, whether you go to the US and find a teacher, or you go to Europe to find a teacher, or you go to Holland to find a teacher, or you go to Indonesia to find a teacher. Sometimes what you need is in your own backyard. Okay. I certainly learned a lot from my teachers here in the US, and I learned a lot from my teacher in Europe, in London. Not to say I didn't need to go to Indonesia. At some point in my life I will go to Indonesia. It's just my life has not allowed that to happen at this current time. But I found everything I was looking for in my own backyard. And I find that a lot of people quickly dropped or disregarded, and I'm talking about the Sirach world, right? A lot of people dropped Sirach to find, let's say, Surah from Indonesia, or Kuntao from, Borneo or Brunei, right? And that's okay, maybe they have good reasons. Maybe they felt that they weren't learning Sirach in the US because of all the politics, because there's a lot of politics in Sirach, unfortunately, right? Also in Sirach, there's a lot of hidden deception and hidden things. One teacher will say, oh, well, that one doesn't have it, or this one doesn't have that, or we only have the focus line, they don't have this, and we have the secret Lanka, and they don't have the secret Lanka, or the secret Jurus, whatever, okay? All I can tell you is, if you truly did a study of the Detwars brothers, right? There's so much material there, and there's so much to learn there, that it would take you a lifetime to really understand it all. And again, back to the politics, some people will say, oh, well, Uncle Willem Detwars doesn't know Sirach, only Pendekar Paul, or only Uncle Maurice, right? But the reality is, a lot of people talking that kind of trash never really trained with all the brothers, or never saw the archives of when the brothers were actually together training, okay? It would be stupid for someone to say that someone like Uncle Willem didn't know. You're talking about somebody who's 87 years old and has probably forgotten more Sirach and C-Lot than any of us will ever know. And that's a fact, I have yet to see, and I've studied a lot. I've studied a lot of Chimande, Harimau. There was another style, I can't remember the name. Oh, Mustika Kuitang. I got exposed to it. I've studied a lot of Sirach, obviously, because that's my main backbone in this art, in the Silat world. I consider myself a Sirach man, more than anything else. You know, what I see Uncle Bill do is really a refined level of the essence of what Sirach is and what all the old internal martial arts are. If you understand, you see it. If you don't understand, you just see something that looks chaotic and it's hard to tell what it is, right? Here's what I can tell you, right? A lot of times they make things more mysterious than what they really are. The real Sirach is not pretty, it's not fancy, it doesn't really look good on camera, it doesn't really look good on video, it's not really something you demo, right? The stuff that looks good on video and demo is the stuff for beginners. The real stuff is completely chaotic and completely 360 degrees. So, with that in mind, I would encourage you to study whatever it is that you want to study in the Silat world. If you found a good Silat teacher in Indonesia, by all means go to Indonesia and learn. If you found a good Silat teacher in Europe, by all means go and learn. If you found a good teacher in the US, if you're in the United States, go and learn. But don't try to think that you're going to learn everything online or long distance or from a video, because it's just not going to happen that way. You're leaving money on the table, if you understand what I'm saying. You're not really getting the goods, the meat and potatoes, unless you really spend time with a teacher that knows and that can transmit what it feels like and what it's supposed to be like. Okay, so keep that in mind. I got more out of my time spent with Uncle Willem in private than I ever did with any teacher, and it was worth every single ounce of penny and sweat and time to have that time with Uncle, to actually learn something from him. I consider him like a martial father, like a Sifu or a Babak, okay, because he's shown me more than what many are pretending they know or hiding. A lot of people hide a lot of things. If you really know how to look, you'll see everything you're looking for in the 18 Sirach jurus inside of the 3 long Kendang jurus. Okay? And if you really want to understand your lankas, you just have to look at the movement and understand how it works. It all starts with knowing how to see. So anyhow, with that being said, keep training.